project yesterday. It's become an annual event for Bill Hansen. He says he enjoys the ride, even though it can be difficult.
I wake up in pain every single day. I've gotten used to a level of pain.
And that's why he says he doesn't mind taking part, even though it means just a little more pain. It all kind of blends in.
And so doing physical fitness things like this, I know I'm going to be in a little bit of pain, but it's worth it for my mental health and for just my camaraderie with other vets.
Nearly 15 years after his first soldier ride, Hansen joined the dozens of other wounded veterans yesterday as they cycled along the overseas highway that includes the 7-mile bridge for the annual Florida Keys event. Hansen served more than 2 decades in the U.S. Marine Corps and the U.S. Army National Guard, and he participated in his first soldier ride back in 2012. More of these stories.
Kick off your weekend with a little flair. It's Dino's Night Out, every Friday from 2 to 4 p.m. on WRMN 1410 AM. Dino brings you the best of the Fox Valley's entertainment scene. Live music, local artists, street festivals, great eats, and the personalities behind them. If it's happening, Dino's talking about it. And bringing the spotlight is none other than the legendary Arcada Theater, located at 105 East Main Street in St. Charles. Catch dinner, drinks, and a show, all under one historic roof. So whether you're making plans or just love to know what's hot, make it a date with Dino's Night Out, Fridays, 2 to 4 p.m. on WRMN 1410 AM, or stream it live at WRMN1410.com. Dino's Night Out, powered by the Arcada Theater, where Fox Valley comes to play.
It's time to wake up.
Yes!
And lock in to On the Rise.
Yes!
With host Mike Napolitano.
Cub fans have every right to be disappointed if this Cubs team continues on the trajectory that they're on and they miss the playoffs or, at best, get a wild card spot. You are cooked at that point.
Mamma mia!
Dalton Cooper.
Like, I would look out for my friends and be like, hey, you know, if you're ranking a little bit, I'm gonna let you know. I feel like that's a good friend. I'd be like, hey, did you smell yourself, or did you maybe did you fart, but something doesn't smell right.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
And Nick Johnston.
For the most part, to be fair, I don't want to completely, justify a sweep, but the Royals are red hot right now. Vinny Pasquantino might be Ted Williams reincarnated. I'm just kind of throwing that out there.
On WRMN 1410 AM, the voice of the Valley.
And welcome in, everybody. WRMN 1410 on the rise in the build. Nick Johnston, Dalton Cooper. How are we doing today, Dalton? Sports!
It's playoff Saturday. We've waited our entire lives for this.
Yeah. It's a very exciting time today. If you're living under a rock, you now know, for sure. Today's Saturday, so it is indeed Bears-Packers once again. What, third time in 5 weeks?
Yeah, third time all time in the playoffs, too.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Which is crazy because they have 208 meetings all time or something along those lines, and for this to be the third time ever in playoffs is just that's kind of mind-boggling.
I know, it's awesome. It's crazy to see that. But yes, exactly what we're doing. We're previewing Bears-Packers, obviously going on today. 7 p.m. kickoff right around that time from Soldier Field. Game 3. Third meeting this year. It's going to be awesome.
Got to keep his promise. He's going to beat the Packers twice a year. And he gets
exactly right. Loves beating Matt LaFleur 2 times a year. It'll be very interesting to see how that handshake plays out no matter what.
Yes.
But regardless, also there we'll have the rest of the playoff slate. We'll preview those games as well. We have a little bit of Bulls news. We got a little bit of Cubs news. We have the Cubs trade, and then at the very end of it, I got a little game that we can play. We can spin a wheel of topics, and kind of just go from there. We did that. I did that when I took over. Like 2 months ago, and it was fun doing that with the Blow the Whistle boys.
Nice.
So let's just dive on in. Let's set the stage here, Dalton.
Yeah.
Let's set it up. So again, third time in the last 5 weeks. Game 1 in Week 14, Packers take down the Bears 28-21. Final play was a Mixon interception, ending it for the Bears. Game 2 in Week 16 goes into overtime, and the Bears take it on. I've been arguing probably the greatest play in Bears history right now in that Hail Mary, that big old touchdown pass from Caleb Williams to DJ Moore, finishing that 22-16 in overtime, like I mentioned. And now here we are.
Here we are.
Game 3. What would be technically Week 19, but and the Jets would still not have an interception. Right. But however, we are here. First week of the playoffs, wild card round. I'm fired up, and I'm only half a can into my Mountain Dew, no coffee on the morning. My message is pretty simple to Bears fans: let's stop being scared for 5 minutes. Let's stop being scared for 5 minutes. Again, I understand the idea of being eliminated from the playoffs in any fashion by anyone it's bad. It sucks. I hate it. It's going to be up to the nth degree because it is the Packers. Every single thing, every single swing will be because it's something. The Bears did something bad against the Packers or something like that. The momentum swings, the momentum shifts. We can't think like that. These are just some guys in some green jerseys. It's as simple as that. There's no boogeyman here. Let's get over this. We're matching up pace for pace with these guys. And again, I understand this is not your young Bears anymore. This is a team that's here to compete. So again, I guess that history says that the Packers will they're going to beat us down in any sort of which way. But again, stop acting scared because the Bears have gone blow for blow with the Packers this year. We'll sit here and argue that they probably should have won game 1, whatnot. Whatever. Stop acting scared. This scared mentality that's going around on the radio side of things, on TV. I just talking to other people in public in general. It's that feeling. Oh, we're good, but the Packers. No, stop having that mentality. Man up and just deal with this. Exactly what we say. Take the North. Just take it. Have some sort of authority and just man up. Like, this is ridiculous. So Bears can do this. There's no doubt in my mind. Everyone that's come in front of them this year, Bears have had some sort of potential to beat them, and they have this record for a reason. Yep. So stop acting scared is my message. We can do this.
And a couple good omens, too. Kyler Gordon should be back, which should help immensely. Obviously, C.J. Gardner-Johnson left last week's game injured. He looked a little wobbly, probably concussion if I had to guess. I'm not a medical professional. But he's going to be huge in the slot. He's their best slot corner, best slot defender. That's kind of where the Packers have killed the Bears in the 2 games that they have played. Other good news, the last time the Bears lost back-to-back games, they went on an 8-game win streak. Started the season 0-2, rattled off 7 or 8 in a row. We've lost 2 straight. Does that mean we're about to rattle off 5 in a row and go win the Super Bowl?
God, I hope so.
I mean, a couple good omens there. But it should be, I think to your point, there is a lot of angst in the air. My biggest takeaway, too, is that if you would have told any Bears fan coming in to this season, hey, you're going to be playing wild card weekend, I think all of us would have signed up for that.
Oh, yeah,
regardless of the outcome. I think we'd be like, oh, we're going to make the playoffs? Hell yeah, I'll sign up for that. So the fact that now that it's kind of transitioned, because I think I do agree with you a little bit. I'm even a little nervous, and I'm not really even the homer here, So I think it's going to be interesting to see the growth. Other big storyline that I've kind of keened on, if you will, is first time. Do you know the record of first time playoff quarterbacks versus quarterbacks that have at least 2 starts in the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, first time quarterbacks in the playoffs just haven't had a very good track record at all.
They are 17-39.
Yeah, it's pretty
all
bad.
Time in those matchups. Yeah. So the other thing is too, I guess from our perspective, I don't know how you feel about this, but I feel like if the Bears are going to lose, it's probably because of the defense, not because of the offense.
Yeah. I mean, this defense has not been able to stop a nosebleed.
Yeah, I mean, the middle of the field was wide open last week against Detroit. I mean, literally, Jared Goff could do no wrong between Amon-Ra and Jameson.
There was some speculating that they were getting a little, trying some couple different things with the defense just to try and get maybe one last look at something.
Yeah,
and of course. The win was important, or the trying to get a win was important just to maintain second place. So luckily the Eagles lost and we were able to do that. But
yeah,
that's where I've been hearing some reports, not officially official, but
yeah. Ben Johnson called it the simplest game plan of the year too. That I don't know if that was like a shot of hey, we need to get we need to.
I think it was. He was extremely frustrated after the Lions lost.
100%. Well, and nobody wants to beat Detroit more than him. I bet.
Yeah, right.
Just for that personal factor of it.
Yeah.
But No, it should be a great game. I think we'll know right away, especially with the weather forecast. They're calling for 30-mile-an-hour gusts, which really affects the deep passing game. Obviously, the Packers love doing that. The Bears love doing that. We're gonna know right away that the control of line of scrimmage. If the Bears can come out and run the football, I think it's gonna be a great night for Chicago. We're gonna have a party, popping, the poppers, having a good time. But if they come out and struggle like they have the last couple weeks of getting the offense going, they don't control the line of scrimmage as well as they have in recent games, I guess in games past when they were playing at their best. And I think that's when this Bears team is at their best, is when they can obviously run the football, play off of that play action, control the line of scrimmage. And like I said, I think we're going to know right away tonight's game if that's going to be the case or not.
I hope so. If it's kind of fun, the last teams that both these teams beat were each other.
Yes.
Week 14, the Packers beat the Bears. Haven't won since. They're on a 4 or 5 game skid.
4. Yep.
And Bears, sure enough, same deal. Haven't won since they beat the Packers in that overtime game in Week 16. So it'll be very interesting to see there. Let's quickly go over the injury report I have right in front of me for the Bears. 3 officially out right now. C.J. Gardner-Johnson is out. Aji, that's a big one right there.
Defensive lineman.
Yeah, linebacker. And then the defensive lineman, Joe Tyrone Shoyinkin, that we traded for like a 6th round earlier this year. He is out right now as well. Questionable is Kyler Gordon. Hopefully he can get ready to go. He had a full participation in practice yesterday, so it should be and then the day after. And then Braxton Jones, same deal. He's been a full participant all week long, but still questionable heading in here. Otherwise, pretty solid everywhere else. Love seeing that. Rome is back. Luther Bird not on the injury report, and no injury distinction for DJ Moore. So a healthy wide receiver core. Obviously, also Cole Kmet and Colson Loving going to get out there and get some passes thrown at him as well.
Did you see Cole Kmet's response? Because his sister is dating Van Ness
yes.
on the Packers. I thought that was kind of fun.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, Lucas Van Ness dating Cole Kmet's sister. Cole Kmet has said that he is not talking to his sister all week long for this reason. He does this every single Packers week, apparently.
Because he's getting her tickets, and they were like, "Yeah, it's the only time I've talked to her is just to get her tickets and get her situate." I just thought that was really funny.
The only person I'm seeing that did not practice Thursday, which is leading up to most likely not playing, is Zach Tom. I believe their best offensive lineman, their guard. Otherwise, questionable is kind of across the board between Malik Willis, Javon Ballard, Warren Brinson, and no real big names. No real big names on the Packers injury report.
Zach Tom is a big deal, though.
Yeah, Zach Tom, like I mentioned,
splits between him being on the field and off the field for Jordan Love they're insane. I think he was in the first game, and I think Jordan Love when Tom was on the field was like 12 of 14 with 2 touchdowns and like 200 yards and just insanity.
Anything for you on Jordan Love coming back in this game? Hasn't played a snap since going out with a concussion in that Bears game. Is there going to be any sort of ring rust, any sort of rust there for you feel like Jordan, again, having to deal with the potential 30-mile-an-hour gusts?
Maybe. I don't foresee that. This is the healthiest this wide receiver group has been for them all season. They're going to have a full complement. They're going to have Jaden Reed. They're going to have Romeo Doubs. They're going to have
Dontavian Wicks out.
Okay, so Wicks is out. But still, to have Jaden Reed and Romeo Doubs, I mean, they haven't had Jaden Reed basically all season. He was kind of their spark plug last year toward the end of the season. He was kind of their go-to guy. So we'll see. Are we going to have a Matthew Golden sighting maybe? Because, all the jokes this year have been going around that he did not show up at all. I think he's like one of the worst first round wide receiver performances of all time.
Yeah, a lot of kind of making that comparison when again throwing the jokes and the memes around when you're making comparisons to like Giants wide receivers who just have one touchdown on the year. Well, that's all they need to pass up Matthew Golden because he has none on the year.
And I think the legs of both quarterbacks are going to be a big factor in this game. I think whoever can extend a couple plays, there's going to be a couple third downs in this game, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, where either Caleb is going to scramble, Jordan Love is going to scramble to extend those drives. And I think that's what the big X factor in tonight's game is going to be.
And you've seen that all season long when Caleb and his escapability, him being able to maneuver and jump out of the way and basically kind of shimmy shake and get the defender off of him as he's trying to avoid a sack. And he's been doing that a solid job all season long of that. I believe that's a huge factor, obviously, of course. Trying to limit and contain Josh Jacobs is going to be a humongous key factor. You were just adding on to the Bears running game and how that's going to be a huge factor for them. yeah, whoever can establish this run, and like you just mentioned, on these potential awful conditions. I mean, it's snowing right now over here in this Elgin area. I'm sure they'll probably pick up in something along the lakefront sometime soon.
Yeah.
But this is going to be a huge, just I would think probably similar to Week 16 when if you can go out there, make a statement on the first drive, whether that's defense and that's stopping them on a 3 and out, or stopping them on 4th down on a crucial play, and then going down the field, and then instead of
fumbling the ball, or
direct snap over the head to Kyle Monungai, maybe instead of doing that, maybe just run the ball right up the middle when you were averaging 6 yards a carry. I think that is the more 100%. Is going to be the thing. I think it's going to be a bunch of momentum plays like that need to happen. Bears offense needs to get going right away. We cannot have what has happened these last 2 weeks where, again, let's go back to last week when you were at the game. You saw them struggling the first half, having to come back, and sure enough, you think they got it, and they just need to stop them one more drive, one more time. Can't do it. But Lions go ahead and win on a field goal.
Do you know the last time that the Bears scored an opening drive touchdown?
No.
It was against the Bengals on November 2nd.
Oh, my goodness.
That's the last time that the Bears have scored an opening drive touchdown with their first possession.
That is not good at all.
And back to your Josh Jacobs point, I was kind of thinking about this too. Like, yeah, Josh Jacobs is probably going to be a big X factor, but I guess from a silver lining standpoint, he's not the receiving back that the Bears have played, kind of like they played Christian McCaffrey, ate him alive. They played last week Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs had a great game. He's also that receiving threat. I don't think Jacobs is as much of a receiving threat, so I think that will help maybe not expose the linebacking group in the middle of this defense as much.
That's fair.
To help play downhill a little
more. Where they might not have a receiving back, it's just already the receivers are so speedy. That's where it already kills them. So it already has the benefit there for them in that sense, where I feel like, yes, that not a huge standout on this wide receiver core, but it is just the small intangibles. Like they just beat you. They're so much faster than you. And Christian Watson is very tall and lanky, and he can make those big plays, those big home run plays, getting them down there. So it's kind of a deal with that. But again, this isn't Caleb Haney. This is Caleb Williams that we're talking about in the sense that he can make these big plays. He's got a cannon for an arm. Accuracy, we mentioned before here, isn't the best. But again, if we're dealing with these big wins and these big gusts, I can rely on Caleb. I feel confident in Caleb being able to make a big play in these conditions.
Yeah, we can only hope, because the Bears have not led for one single second of this rivalry this year. So that's the only thing that maybe that's why people are a little bit hesitant, like kind of back to your first point of being a little bit scared of the outcome. But again, if they lose, it's not a failure of a season, in my opinion. There's no way you call the season a failure even if they do lose.
I've seen that argument too, where again it's going to be just exemplify, or what would it be, just a huge under a huge magnifying glass, because this is the Packers eliminating the Bears. And then again, it's just like, oh, this great season, does it just get washed away just because the Packers beat us? Again, I would make the argument that even if it was the Eagles beating the Bears or the Rams, like, it doesn't matter who takes us out. It's disappointing no matter what. Yes, it's going to sting a little bit more if it's the Packers. But again, it's just, I feel like it just doesn't matter either which way. So,
And you talk about Jordan Love real quick too. In the last 3 games, and this goes back to the second game of 2025 when the Bears won, Jordan Love is 1-2 against the Bears. He's 32 of 50 for 370 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. So it's not like he's lighting the world on fire. So we can only hope to see a little bit of that rush show up, and they become very one-dimensional. But
exactly, I'll comment on the QB situation. I've been the QB argument that I've heard this past week, but I'll get to that in just a second.
Oh boy.
Quickly, AP All-Pro selections were announced this morning. 3 Bears on the All-Pro team.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay.
Okay.
I haven't looked.
Okay, cool.
Joe Tooney.
Yes.
Drew Dahlman.
No,
he played every snap this year. Okay.
Really?
Kevin Byard.
Correct.
Okay, so I've got 2. Who is my third? Does he play offense?
Yes.
No way it's Colston Loveland.
For what it's worth, All-Pro second team for this guy.
Oh, okay. Jonah Jackson.
No.
Oh, no way.
I'll give you one more.
It's not a tight end. It's not a wide. It's got to be
offensive line.
I'm gonna say it's got to be a lineman, and I'm blanking. Ozzie Trupillo.
Darnell Wright.
Okay,
So Joe Thuney, Joe Tooney, Kevin Byard.
That's Drew Dahlman not on
and
that list.
Darnell Wright.
Is
Little snub there for sure. I'm sure he'll get honored in some sort of way within the Bears facilities. But yes, huge one right there. I would make the point quickly that just really awesome to see again that huge flux for Joe Thuney going from Chiefs to Bears, and you can just see.
He started with the Patriots.
Oh, that's correct.
Think about that even.
Yeah, but just even in this trade in this offseason, the Bears acquiring Joe Thuney from the Chiefs.
Yeah,
going from there to there, and just the huge pickup, the huge lift that the Bears were going, and the sudden drop off that was the Chiefs. And I'm not gonna say it's completely because of Joe. However, I think it's a humongous influence.
Oh, for sure.
Obviously, Patrick Mahomes going down and not having the season that he was supposed to.
Yeah.
Again, I think there's some sort of influence right there.
The Bears learned last year how important it is to have competent offensive line play.
Correct the moon.
Yeah, bad week for Matt Eberflus too, by the way.
Yeah. Kevin Byard obviously leading the league in interceptions, 7 interceptions on the year, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And then again, rightfully so, I believe in Darnell Wright, solid season on the line, locking it down, making sure Caleb was not running around as much this year. So that was really nice to see. And then with a couple more minutes here, we can, like I mentioned, wanted to get into a couple of maybe some names or just the argument that I was hearing over this whole time. It's like, oh yeah, okay.
Oh boy.
Again. But just between Bears, Packers fans and hearing the argument online, seeing everything online, it's like, we got you in the first game. Packers fans, I got you in the first game. You needed to beat our secondary. You need to beat our second guy, and Malik Willis. Over these past 20 years, let's try and think of some Bears quarterbacks that have been notable. Some that are all pro or Hall of Fame worthy.
Okay.
The Jay Cutlers, the Kyle Ortons, again,
Was
Caleb Haney. No, none of these guys were.
Right.
That's kind of my point that I'm getting to. Let's see. Yeah. Josh McCown.
Yep.
Let's just pull this up.
I'm trying to even think back early. Rex Grossman.
Yeah.
He was a dog. Right? Has to be.
Yeah. Just
trying to think.
Case Keenum, Tyson Bagent. Let's see who else. Let's see who else. Obviously, the Mitchell Trubisky's of the world, the Justin Fields, Trevor Siemian, the tail end of Andy Dalton, Nick Foles, Chase Daniel, Mike Glennon, Matt Barkley,
the neck.
Jason Campbell, I believe I mentioned
Is this
Josh
the Bears
McCown.
or the Browns.
This is indeed the Bears.
It sounds like the Browns.
This is indeed the Bears, and this is we're still in the 2010s, my man. Or we're still in the 2000s. Craig Krenzel and Chad Hutchinson.
Yeah.
Again, the point I'm making is here. Oh, you beat our backup when the Packers are doing that. We've only had backups as our starting quarterback for the past 20 years.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear this argument of, you had to beat Malik Willis to finally get one. I don't care.
I truly played well, though.
Yeah.
I think Malik Willis, you could argue, is better than every quarterback you just named. At least the way he played.
I think so, again, because they definitely didn't have a game plan or anything going for Malik Willis for good reason, because you think he was going to get out and get Nathan Peterman. I'll throw that guy in there as well.
Oh, Hall of Famer. How could you? He throws the best interceptions.
Yeah, he sure does. Again, the point being, finally, the Bears have their guy. The Bears finally have someone that is making the Packers and the Packers fans shake in their boots just a little bit, just a wee bit, maybe more than they're probably letting on to be. Yeah. So we finally got our guy. This ain't Caleb Haney. It's Caleb Williams. He's got a cannon for an arm, and I cannot wait for this game. Yeah. You're going, where you're sitting, how you tailgating, what are you doing, how you're celebrating?
We'll get down there probably about 3 o'clock, give or take. I wasn't going to tailgate too much. I like to not be inebriated when I watch the game.
Fair enough.
Maybe if they start winning, maybe we can start talking about, having some drinks or whatever.
Getting some buzz balls going.
I think we're at 131.
Okay.
I know Blake is going too. He's
nice.
in the lower bowl, so hopefully we'll run into him. But I expect this is probably I thought about this last night. This is probably the biggest game in Chicago since Game 5 of the World Series in 2016.
Yeah.
So I anticipate the crowd being.
You can say 20.
ready.
Yeah, for Cubs.
Yeah.
Obviously 2018 against the Eagles with the double doink.
Yeah, and I think this game's even bigger than that because it's the Packers.
Maybe. Yeah. Probably.
Because it's the Packers. Because it's the season that the Bears just had. I think they were 12-4. I think going into that game against the Eagles. So maybe the expectation was probably a little bit different. But I think just because it's the Packers, And I anticipate it being very loud, and I anticipate it being very noticeable on television that the crowd is a big
amped.
factor
I
in this
hope
game.
so.
Yeah.
I hope so. Obviously, the Bears, again, huge that they got a home game. They only average giving up about 17.5 points at home. So I think that's a huge factor there as well. And something that was mentioned beforehand about Bears fans at home. Bears fans, when the offense is on the field, I think Danny Parkins was making this point.
Keep it down.
Keeping it down.
He'll be there. I'm hoping I see him.
Oh, that'd be cool. I heard he's awesome. Yeah, I heard he's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes. Quiet down.
Yes.
He said it took Peyton Manning and the Colts fans years to figure this out because, the excitement of a forward pass actually going more than 10 yards was just unheard of in Chicagoland. Yeah. So now we have something to root for.
And a quick stat before we take you to break, too. Since week 3, the Bears are 10-1 when they score at least 7 points in the first quarter. The only loss against the San Francisco 49ers. So
there you go. That was an absolute shootout, folks. So there you have it. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit of the rest of the games that were going on in the NFL slate. We got Panthers and Rams going on as well today, and then a slew of others going on tomorrow and Monday. WRMN 1410, we got Nick Johnson and Dalton Cooper for On the Rise.
Are you suffering with anxiety, depression, PTSD, an eating disorder, or even a substance abuse problem? If it's causing problems at work or with your family, get help now at Insight Mental Health and Wellness. We can help and treat all types of depression and mental issues. We'll help you use your insurance to get away from it all to a beautiful, sunny, and tranquil vacation-like environment so you can recharge yourself. And with the Family Medical Leave Act, you could take the time off you need from work. Plus, with the Affordable Care Act, your treatment could be 100% covered. If you're suffering from any kind of anxiety, depression, PTSD, eating disorder, or even a substance abuse problem, use your insurance and get away from it all. Come to sunny California. Call Insight Mental Health and Wellness now. 800-419-0287. 800-419-0287. 800-419-0287. That's 800-419-0287.
When disaster strikes, flood or fire, every second counts. At Emergency Construction Group, they specialize in immediate response and same-day service for any residential, commercial, or industrial emergency across the Chicagoland area. With over 30 years of experience, they've got the expertise, manpower, and equipment to handle any size loss fast. They follow strict IICRC guidelines to restore your property the right way, the first time. Their team values transparency, constant communication, and strong ethical standards because your peace of mind matters. Licensed, bonded, and insured, they're here for you 24/7, 365 days a year. Call 855-4ECG now. That's 855-432-4669. Or visit their website at emergencyconstructiongroup.com and let Emergency Construction Group put your life back together one step at a time. That's Emergency Construction Group. Your satisfaction is their passion.
We are AFGE, the American Federation of Government Employees. We represent 700,000 federal and D.C. government workers who are the vital threads of the fabric of American life. We support our nation's military. We take care of our nation's veterans. We protect our nation's borders. We respond to our nation's crises and natural disasters. We provide services to our nation's seniors. The American Federation of Government Employees. We work for America.
We are AFGE, the American Federation of Government Employees. We represent 700,000 federal and D.C. government workers who are the vital threads of the fabric of American life. We support our nation's military. We take care of our nation's veterans. We protect our nation's borders. We respond to our nation's crises and natural disasters. We provide services to our nation's seniors. The American Federation of Government Employees. We work for America.
They're simple, boring, never thought of until they're needed. They're windshield wipers. Only when Mary Anderson became annoyed that New York trolley drivers were stopping to wipe their windshield by hand did anybody do something about it. By attaching a spring-loaded arm to a rubber blade, one woman made travel easier and safer. Look to innovate and pass it on. From passiton.com.
Building a house is hard, but have you tried removing one? Flood Brothers takes the mess out of demolition. With fast roll-off dumpster delivery, reliable debris pickup, and a family-owned team that takes service personally. Call 630-261-0400 or visit floodbrothersdisposal.com. Flood Brothers Disposal, proud sponsor of America's First Responders Fest.
And welcome in, everybody, on the rise. And here we are. Joining us today, Nick Johnson, Dalton Cooper, and here's Mike Napolitano in the building, folks.
What up, everybody? Bear down.
Sports.
Nice.
You got Mike listened in on our Bears conversation. Hopefully you did as well. If you weren't able to check that out, maybe roll it back on the YouTube. And then maybe hit that little live button again once you're all caught up and ready to roll. We're back here, WRMN 1410 on the rise, right here, ready to rock and roll. If you want to talk in, join in. You can call us, you can text us, you can get, like I said, mentioned on the YouTube side of things, WRMN1410.com for the YouTube, 1-847-931-1410 for our phone line. Text us also at 505-926-1410. That's how you participate, folks. That's how you get in.
And the social medias, Facebook, Instagram, everything in between.
Like it up, follow us along. Just do not follow us in real life because I will hit you with a bat. We're ready to rock and roll,
Be
folks.
careful.
It's not a threat. It's just it's
a promise.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Well, here we are, folks. Like I just mentioned, we broke down Bears, Packers, everything we wanted to get to. Well, before we do, Mike, anything quickly on the Bears, Packers that maybe we didn't mention, or anything you just want to get off your chest beforehand?
No, I think you guys hit on everything, even down to girlfriends dating for the wrong team. So, I guess you're right. This is probably the biggest game in Chicago since, was it game 5 of, are you just saying game 5 because they were down 3-1? Because I don't know, game 6 was also in Chicago, was it not?
No, they played 6 and 7 in
6 and 7 were
Cleveland.
Okay, yeah, Cleveland. Okay, I mean, I knew 7 was in Cleveland, but yeah, that escaped me. But yeah, I mean, you think about it, yeah, there hasn't been anything that big.
No.
Let's hope that it goes Chicago's way like it did then, and not like it did in 2018 with, the aforementioned game against the Eagles that I won't even mention a certain kicker's name or that certain instance. But this should be a big one for the Bears.
Anything on, did you guys hear maybe Dan Orlovsky's take that basically the Bears have no chance? They have zero shot?
Yeah.
I've seen a couple people. It seems like there's no middle ground here. It's either the Bears have zero chance of even making it past the Packers, or they're going to the Super Bowl. And I haven't heard a lot of in between. Like maybe just to the NFC Championship. Maybe I'm not saying Super Bowl. I'm not saying either. I think the Bears can get past the Packers. I don't know how far they will get after that. And this is a year one playoff team, right? I mean, there was barely any expectations to even get here with a tough NFC North in the first place. So can you beat your rivals? That's all I ask for. That's a win. Can you go further? I don't know. That'd be the cherry on top.
Yeah. Again, kind of playing with a little bit of extra as the Bears went ahead way past their win total on the year.
Yeah. Every team in NFC North was above 500. Too.
Yeah, that was the kicker for sure. I was kind of.
Was it the second time or third time in NFL history that's
I
happened?
honestly have no.
Because I've seen conflicting reports. I've seen twice because the AFC North did it a couple of years ago, and that was apparently the first time. But then if you go all the way back to like the 70s, I guess there was. I don't know. Depends on what rulebook you follow.
Yeah, I'm sure if they're looking at Super Bowl era or whenever the TV changed from black and white to color era, I'm sure they're looking at that as well. But we also have a couple other games going on along this week. We can go and kind of look at them, to glance upon them. Not too much to preview here, in my opinion, in this game that's going to be beforehand. Saturday today, 3:30 p.m. Kickoff. Fox, if you want to watch it on the telly. Panthers hosting the Los Angeles Rams here. The Rams are a 10-point favorite here. So again, even in the playoffs, you even see that's a humongous number.
Yes.
And rightfully so. A potential MVP candidate, or might be beaten out by Drake May in this case for this year. But Matthew Stafford had one heck of a year. Puka Nacua just caught basically everything that was in front of him. The run game between Kyron Williams and also Blake Corum coming on in the end of the year. So this offense is stacked up. This defense will just pin their ears back and run and get anybody. On the flip side, Panthers legitimately limped into this postseason. losing to Tampa in Week 18, somehow still had the tiebreaker, and because the Falcons beat the Saints, that is how the Panthers are your NFC South winners at 8-9.
Yep.
Yikes.
Talk about every team being under 500. Yeah,
exactly. From the polar opposite of the NFC North to the NFC South, you see everyone finish it. Again, Falcons were eliminated 2 months ago?
Beginning of December.
Yeah, basically.
I think they were out of contention for like 4 weeks.
And they still decided who won that NFC South with the Panthers getting there. I'll try and paint a picture somewhat for the Panthers getting some sort of a win or just looking good.
Does it involve a meteor hitting the stadium?
For what it's worth, the Panthers did beat the Rams in the regular season this year.
Did.
So, but in order to do it again, you're gonna have to. It's gonna be have to be a perfect game from the Panthers and an awful game for the Rams. Is there anything you guys have on this one?
No, I mean the only reason do you know how many times the Panthers entered the red zone in the first matchup against the Rams?
I do not know.
Once.
Ah, okay.
They made it to the red zone one time. They scored 2 touchdowns on 4th down. They got a pick 6 from Matt Stafford, who then threw another interception later in the game. I just don't see that perfect storm happening again. And that's got to be the way. And otherwise, the only other way too that the Panthers would win is if they could run the ball down their throats for 30 to 35 minutes of game time. I don't see that happening either. I just don't think Sean McVay is going to let that happen. I think he's going to put on a master class, and we'll see.
Yeah, Rico Dowdle, his spark has lost a little bit of its touch. Same thing with Chuba Hubbard on the Panthers side of things. Ted McMillan is not 100%, so he would need to be in my mind for the Panthers in every which way. And then again, another first-time quarterback here in Bryce Young heading into the playoffs here. So.
Other fun stat about that game: do you know how many third downs the Rams had?
No.
They had 5 third downs the whole game.
Oh my!
The first time they played, so they were moving the ball up and down the field. They just like I said, a couple bad mistakes. I just don't see those uncharacteristic mistakes happening again with the Rams.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Mike, anything on the Panthers and the Rams for you?
I mean, it's just sports are so funny, especially the way that the NFL playoffs are slated, because you have your wild cards and your division leaders, and sometimes those divisions, like we were saying, are not above 500. So you've got Bears and Packers that are the 2 and 7 matchup, the 2nd seed and the 7th seed. Their spread is Green Bay -1.5.
Yeah.
Now,
Chicagoans, it's been flipping back and forth.
Like that.
Bears had the upper hand for a little bit, but some sharp money is coming out of the Packers as of late.
You look at this Panthers-Rams matchup, which is the 4-5 matchup. You would think it'd be a much closer game here, but the Rams are favored by 10. So, I mean, and rightfully so when you look at the records, it's just because of that division-leading seeding that is going to dictate this one, because the Rams might be the 5th seed and the Panthers might be the 4th seed, but the Panthers are 8-9, so not 500 like we were talking about, and the Rams are better than the Bears at 12-5. So it's just going to be. I see. You were saying a couple weeks ago, I don't know if it was last week, that you don't see the NFC running through Seattle. If there is going to be some kind of a change,
well, it is now. I'm
gonna be honest with you. I could see it running through. Well, Seattle is the 1 seed, but I see what Nick was saying is they're gonna get this bye, and then I don't know. Do I see them going further?
That was my point. They need it because otherwise, I don't think it would have went through Seattle otherwise.
They play better on the road. That's the scary part for the Seahawks. Yeah,
they would probably play the lowest seed that remains.
They would play the Rams again more than likely.
But it would probably be the Rams, and I'm just gonna say I think that the NFC then probably runs through Los Angeles. I mean, there's don't get me wrong.
The Bears, hopefully.
That's true. That's true.
That's why I like the Bears at 2. I did not mind because I don't trust. You trust Sam Darnold in January because it's never happened before. I can't.
Philly's still out there too. That's, by the way, foreshadowing. That's my Super Bowl pick. I'm going with Philly.
I mean, it is the Eagles. That is going to be our discussion for next week for sure, because that's going to be if the Bears get past the Packers, take it 1 week at a time, 1 game at a time. But if they can. They got to go up against the defending champs, probably. I know the 49ers are tough. The Bears just saw them last week. You saw how back and forth that game was. Like Nick was saying, if the defense gets a stop, maybe it's a different story. I know the Bears blew the Eagles out of the water, but I don't think you could just take those head-to-head matchups at face value, especially when it comes to playoff time. So I still think the Eagles have what it takes. They've been there. They know what it takes. I see them coming out of that matchup. Not to jump ahead and preview that matchup. That'll be 3:30 p.m. tomorrow.
Yes.
But then what other were you looking at AFC matchups?
Yes.
Or did you have more on Eagles?
Yeah. So Sunday. So that'll take care of both those games today. Panthers Rams going on 3:30. Obviously, we talked Bears and Packers all the way at the beginning of today's episode. Sunday, beginning of Sunday's games on the 11th, 12 p.m. kickoff for, and honestly, two of my favorite teams in this entire bracket, Jags and Bills.
Yes.
I think this is going to be a barn burner. Jags and Bills. Trevor Lawrence leading the way for the Jaguars, who, I mean, a little spotty here and there, his playoff record and whatnot, or just being in there in general. But here comes Liam Coleman taking this 4-win team, flipping it around, getting 12 wins, winning the division, and just exactly that, stomping a big old mud hole in this AFC South for you. Travis Etienne Jr. in my mind looking like 2023 Travis Etienne Jr. Looking very solid back there, and Byshal Tootin isn't that bad of a backup running back there. And for what it's worth, Brian Thomas Jr. not having the best year, however, does not matter because Parker Washington is a household name now.
Yeah,
because,
and Jacoby Myers.
Yeah,
he's been a great acquisition.
Absolutely,
as well.
And Brenton Strange on the tight end side of things. I even saw a post from like NFL, the fantasy sleeper, like where do you draft Brenton Strange next year? I'm like, probably not at all. However, Jaguars and Bills on the flip side. If you're Josh Allen and you're looking ahead of you, and all you don't see Patrick Mahomes. And you don't see Lamar Jackson, and you don't see Joe Burrow in front of you.
Yeah,
you got to be salivating. This has to be your time. Yet right now, a dominant and very tough Jaguars offense, or just in team in general, is right in front of you. How do the Bills get over the Jags, or do the Jags get this one done over the Bills?
Let me ask you this question, and then I'll get to yours.
Okay.
Has there ever been more pressure on a 6 seed in NFL history to make the Super Bowl? More than what there's on the Buffalo Bills?
Probably not.
I think a lot of that is because of the fact that they weren't expected to be as low as a 6 seed. So, I would have to agree. I don't know of a particular instance off the top of my head that, would be.
I don't think there's.
I mean,
it's just crazy to think about how much pressure is on
a wild card team,
literally, to make, like, not even just to win one game, but to make the Super Bowl, like to how you set that up previously. Also, the Bills are 0-4 on road playoff games with Josh Allen at quarterback.
Yikes.
So that's one hurdle they're going to have to clear.
And I will say, I would not be surprised if the Bills are out first round here. I would not be surprised if the Jaguars have done a really great job this year. And I don't know if you could just chalk the Bills up to being like the Eagles of the AFC, where they've been there, they've done that, they have that playoff pedigree. And of course, it's Josh Allen, but like, have we really seen that?
Only been to the AFC Championship one time.
Yeah. Right, yeah, that's true too. But I mean, they've had 3 playoff runs in a row. This will be 4. But only one deep one.
And again, it's because they're losing out to a guy like Patrick Mahomes. Again, the boogeyman for them is gone.
And that's another thing too, is like, they've had some tough early matchups, which has stunted them from having a deeper playoff run in certain years. That AFC, between, their struggles with either Lamar Jackson or, of course, like you said, Patrick Mahomes, neither one of them are here now. And I mean, the table is set for the Bills to have the run of the AFC, but they dropped down to that 6th seed, and now it's going to be a question mark.
I mean, if you're just basing this off of QBs,
they definitely have the best one.
Bo Nix, Aaron Rodgers, CJ Stroud, Trevor Lawrence, Josh Allen, Drake May, Justin Herbert. Josh Allen is clearly the number one. He might be the number one player in the league if you're sitting out. If you want to sit down and really talk stats.
Reigning MVP.
Yeah, you could argue that.
Yeah. So exactly right. All the pressure on this 6th seed, probably none more than ever.
Literally, yeah. Just think about
that. Regardless of seed, just any wild card team, has to be for sure. This is gonna be awesome. Jaguars at home, currently a 1.5 point favorite. That is the first game.
It flipped. They were home dogs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Jags were home dogs basically the whole week, so now it's flipped. That's wild.
Again, maybe some sharp money must have come in either last night.
Does Sean McDermott get fired if they lose?
Oh man. And I got some stuff on some coaches when we get to our spin the wheel part.
Okay.
But
gotcha. We'll say
but that is very interesting because
Harbaugh's out there, and you know what? I was thinking about this yesterday. Do you know who the perfect fit for the Buffalo Bills would be, in my opinion, at head coach? Bill Belichick.
Okay.
Could you imagine? He doesn't have to do anything on offense. He has to fix the defense that has been very poor the last couple of years for the Buffalo Bills, and he gets to stick it to Robert Kraft and the Patriots.
He has been asked. He has already confirmed he's not looking at any NFL jobs.
I was going to say.
We'll see.
He is focusing on North Carolina.
If you get to coach Josh Allen, I think your tune might change just a smidge.
I think so. I think a little bit.
Do you think? Also, last thing, and then we can move on. Do you think the loser of this game between the Josh Allens has to go by their middle name from now on? Because you have Josh Allen, the quarterback for the Bills, obviously, and then you have Josh Allen, the linebacker for the Jags.
Oh, that's true. Wow.
And even funnier, I did some research. Did you know Josh Allen, the quarterback, his middle name, he's named after his dad. It's Patrick.
Wow.
Yeah, he's named after his dad. Isn't that
Patrick
nice?
Mahomes?
Yeah. Isn't that really nice?
Fantastic.
So, I just think about something to think. It could be Josh P. Allen moving forward. And he plays quarterback for the Buffalo Bills.
I think it's going to be like one of those WWE matches where you think those two are going head to head, Josh Allen versus Josh Allen, and then a third Josh Allen, the one from the Kane County Cougars, comes out of nowhere and just I don't know what's a RKO out of nowhere.
If you watched SmackDown last night, there was already a masked man gimmick last night. So shout out to Drew. So kicking off Sunday. We lightly touched upon it. Eagles and Niners on Fox on 3:30 on Sunday. Eagles 6-point favorites currently right now.
It's gone up too.
I think.
Started like
again,
4.5.
kind of a big one in terms of that matchup. What we would think is a little bit closer. Niners had a stellar season, even though they were third in the NFC West. That just goes to show you how stacked up that division was in general. Eagles, however, they win the division first time in 20 some odd years, back-to-back NFC East winners. So congratulations to the Eagles right there. And again, they're trying to get poised, get back to the Super Bowl. What do we think on this matchup? Do we do anything to justify that 6 points other than in my mind, the San Francisco 49ers defense just isn't up to par?
Well, that, and we don't know how healthy Trent Williams is. We don't know how healthy Ricky Pearsall is. And
I don't think Pearsall's playing.
And that's a huge loss for them because outside of him, it's like Jawan Jennings, and that's about it. They have a wide receiver. Obviously, you have George Kittle, who's amazing, and he's literally worth a touchdown to their offense. Like the splits when he plays and doesn't play. Other big storyline that I've been reading this week on Twitter is the officiating of this game. I don't know if you've seen this, but Alan Eck, E-C-K is the last name.
No.
He'll be the head referee for the Eagles and 49ers game. He grew up in Pennsylvania as an Eagles fan. Philly, under games that he has reffed, is 8-1 with a record of 8-1, and San Francisco is 3-6 when he is the head official.
Interesting.
That's like some NBA when those NBA
bringing the extender, Scott Foster. But that's kind of been the big news there. I just think there's too many injuries for the 49ers. To your point, their defense, I mean, you're talking about maybe the best offense in the NFC going against the best defense maybe in the NFL or in the NFC.
And that's where a lot of people are coming in. I think that's going to be the game within the game is who's going to budge first. Is it going to be that Eagles defense or that Niners offense?
And I think if Trent Williams was healthy, this would be a completely different story. And I think this would be a completely different line.
Maybe only like a 3-point game.
I think maybe 2.5.
On the spread, okay.
And if Eagles get up and get a lead in this game, I think it's going to be over. I mean, I don't know if you saw the stat going on with Shanahan this week, but he's like 0-37 when he's trailing by 7 or more points at halftime in his career. So
and that makes sense for the Eagles. Take a decent amount lead. Doesn't need to be insurmountable, but just enough so they can sit there, run the ball down your throat, and just suffocate you and just take over time of possession. That's going to be the Eagles' way of trying to win. And the Niners probably just something similar to how they beat the Bears and just going to have to be a shootout and just constantly getting the ball down there. Quickly, Sunday night game, Patriots-Chargers. Patriots currently the 3.5-point favorite there. I like that for the Chargers because I think the Patriots get the win, but maybe the Chargers do a little backdoor cover. I'm not sold either which way. I like the Chargers odds. I'm not completely just handing this game over the Patriots. Be like, here you go. Drake May, MVP, this, that, and the other. Mike Vrabel, most likely coach of the year. Here you go. Here's this game. This might be the toughest matchup because we've sat there all season long and said, hey, lollipop schedule for the Patriots. This is going to be Jim Harbaugh is going to be ready to roll. Yeah. Always praising his guy, Justin Herbert. Amari and Hampton most likely ready to go as well. Anything on this game between Patriots and Chargers? Mike on this one.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Mike. This was my 401k pick of the week, by the way. I love the Chargers in this game. I think you can go Chargers money line. Yeah, I think the Chargers win this football game.
I don't know. I liked what I've seen from Drake May this year and that Patriots squad. So I could see Nick's point, and I kind of tend to lean that way. Especially, I know it's a whole completely new regime, new coach, new quarterback, new everything. But I mean, we've seen the Patriots be the Patriots before. I think this was fast for them to rebuild like that. And we've seen it. It can happen in football. Look at what the Bears have been doing, right? So the turnaround in New England has been quick, and this is going to be a tough one to pick. This is going to be one of those games where you got to play it out to see what happens here. But I think I lean towards that 2 seed in the Patriots just because they're the 2 seed. But once again, this would be one where I'm not surprised if the Chargers come out victorious in this one. I know I said that for what was it, Eagles and 49ers. I'm leaning towards Rams in the Panthers-Rams matchup. I'm hoping for Bears, of course, here as a Chicagoan. I'm leaning towards Jaguars over the Bills, but that was the one where I said I wouldn't be surprised if Josh Allen was Josh Allen, the quarterback Josh Allen. And then I guess I don't want to get ahead of ourselves and talk about that last matchup.
Yeah, we'll get to that in just a second.
Yeah, we'll get there.
I just want to ask Dalton.
Because I want to tell you why the Chargers are going
exactly. That was going to be my question. Convince me, Chargers. Why are they winning straight up?
One thing in my opinion, they still do have the better quarterback in this matchup. They still have Justin Herbert, who's not a slouch.
True.
He does not have the greatest playoff history. We can all agree on that. The defensive play, I think, is where this game is going to be separated. One side, you have Jesse Minter, who is the second best defense in the NFL at limiting big plays this year. Drake May and the Patriots feast off the deep ball. They're right up there with the Bears with the most explosive pass plays this season. Also, the weakness of the Chargers, we can all agree, is their offensive line, right? It's trash. Well, the Patriots' defensive pressure rate in the NFL is 31st without blitzing. So they do not have a very good defensive line to take advantage of this terrible Chargers offensive line. And it comes down to coaching. I think Jim. Sorry, Jim. I think Jim is looking to flip the tide. The Chargers, I think, are 1-3 all time against the Patriots in the postseason. And I just, something about this game tells me that it's going to be very low scoring. Like this is going to be a 17-14 game.
Ooh, I like that.
2017 game. I just think this game is going to get very ugly. Maybe Hampton is supposed to be back. Amari Hampton is supposed to be back. Hopefully, we don't know how much he's going to play, but I like the physicality here. I think the Chargers find a way.
And for what it's worth, I mean, Marion Hampton, even if he doesn't go, I do like Kamani Vidal. He's a pretty solid little back up there for them as well. With 2 minutes left, let me quickly get to the last game, Steelers and Texans. I did like your breakdown for the Chargers. That kind of convinced me a little bit there. Very convenient that the Steelers get a Monday night game as under Mike Tomlin in Monday night games, they are 22-3.
Insane.
And 11-0 at when those games are at home, which it is in this case. However, Houston still a 3-point favorite on the road here. Steelers and Texans, who you got on Monday night?
I've got Houston.
Okay.
I throw that Mike Tomlin record on Monday nights out just because.
Houston's defense is stacked.
Yeah, I think they're just going to shut down Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is once again. They set themselves up to go 9-8. They did end up going 10-7, but I think the playoff experience is going to be what it comes down to here.
They're playing Aaron Rodgers. Who has more playoff experience on Houston than Aaron Rodgers?
Okay, all right, no, but I mean, as a team, as a whole, Houston's been there more frequently recently.
Will Anderson was in diapers when Aaron Rodgers was making these.
This is true. But is Aaron Rodgers is he past his prime?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
What are you?
You're taking Aaron Rodgers in this game?
Saw Phillip Rivers come out at 45 years old and almost beat the Seahawks.
That's a different situation.
Exactly. So the game was a little bit different. Wouldn't you say?
I guess so, but
okay. Give me the Steelers.
You want
Give me the Steelers.
Who are you taking?
I'm leaning Texans.
The game plan does not change for the Steelers. First of all, they get DK Metcalf back.
That's true.
That is a huge boost.
That offense has been missing him.
That is a huge boost. But do you think that's enough to get through that Houston defense?
They've added Thielen and MVS, so Aaron's got a little bit of his veteran presence that he likes. He likes to go
MVS and Adam Thielen.
Yeah.
Is this 2018?
Okay. Yeah,
I
I was like,
I understand
what?
the talent is not there anymore, but the way that Aaron likes to play the game. And plus, Aaron has been the quickest quarterback to get the ball out of his hands all year. So the pressure of Houston, I think, is going to get neglected a little bit in that regard because he's used to not hanging on to the ball. I think 2.6 seconds is his snap to ball release rate this year. So I like the Steelers. Jalen Warren, Kenneth Gainwell, I think they can find a way to make some plays out of the backfield, run the ball well. And again, how can you not take Tomlin at home? 3 points, Monday night, underdog. Everybody's counting them out. I know they haven't won a playoff game in like a decade, but it just feels like this is the time. Houston's won way too many games in a row, and I just think it's going to come to an end.
Making some great cases across the board there, Dalton. I can appreciate that. Well, there it is. That is Wild Card Weekend. The division all ready to go right here. This is WRMN 1410 on the ride. We'll be back in a little bit.
Get ready for an unforgettable night out in downtown St. Charles at O-Shows, where live music, dining, and entertainment come alive. Visit the iconic Arcada Theater at 105 East Main Street and experience the venue voted Chicagoland's premier entertainment destination. Whether you're enjoying a headliner concert, dining at Rock and Ravioli, or hitting the speakeasy at Club Arcada, O-Shows creates memories. Tickets and event info at oshows.com, and you can call 630-962-7000. That's 630-962-7000. Make your reservation, bring your friends, and plan your next event at O-Shows. Live music, dining, and entertainment, all in one place. Visit oshows.com and join the fun tonight. Supporter of the America's First Responder Fest.
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410. Elgin time, 11 o'clock.
Breaking news at Town Hall. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. President Trump is calling on oil executives to invest in Venezuela now that Nicolas Maduro's been removed.
One of the reasons you couldn't go in is you had no guarantees, you had no security, but now you have total security. It's a whole different Venezuela, and Venezuela is going to be very successful.
Economist Steve Moore says Maduro's capture opens up new horizons for the people of Venezuela.
You have a country that, you're quite right, became a fairly wealthy country and a robust middle class. And today in Venezuela, 80%, 8 out of 10 Venezuelans live in poverty, and almost half of Venezuelans live in abject poverty, meaning they can barely find enough food to eat.
Moore was interviewed by the Salem Radio Network. Public policy expert Matthew Continetti says the continuing demonstrations in Iran have made the situation there very volatile.
It's hard to know exactly what's happening, of course, because the regime has shut down the internet, shut down most phones. It's hard to understand what is happening on the ground, but what we can glean from social media is that there are mass protests throughout the country in response to the economic desolation that this regime has perpetrated on the Iranian people.
Authorities in eastern Mississippi say one person is now in custody following a series of related shootings that left 6 people dead.
The Clay County, Mississippi Sheriff's Office says in a Facebook post that multiple innocent lives were lost in the town of West Point near the Alabama border. It said a suspect was in custody and that there was no threat to the community. Sheriff Eddie Scott told WTVA that 6 people were killed in 3 locations. Scott's statement said, "I ask that you lift our victims and their families in your prayers." I'm Donna Warder.
You'll find more on these stories at townhall.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-583-0141. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-583-0141. That's 800-583-0141. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
General Motors stock took a hit Friday after news it's drowning in red ink in its struggling electric vehicles division.
General Motors will be hit with about $6 billion in charges in the fourth quarter. Sales of electric vehicles slowed after the U.S. cut tax incentives to buy EVs and eased auto emissions standards. The new charges follow an announcement in October that the Detroit automaker would take a $1.6 billion charge for the same reason in the previous quarter. Automakers are being forced to reconsider ambitious plans to convert their fleets to electric power. The EV tax credit ended in September. The clean vehicle tax credit was worth $7,500 for new EVs and up to $4,000 for used ones. I'm Marcela Sanchez.
GM had been the car maker most committed to phasing out gas-powered engines in favor of EV technology. Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. Authorities have declared a state of disaster today in Australia as a summer heat wave has kindled the worst brush fire seen in 5 years.
In Victoria, lives and livelihoods have been threatened by dozens of bushfires. The Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said it was an incredibly traumatic time for those who've lost their homes. Emergency evacuation orders have been issued as 2 fires burn out of control in the Great Otway National Park southwest of Melbourne. Sydney is facing its hottest day in years.
That is BBC's Phil Mercer reporting. The Trump administration is responding to massive fraud in the state of Minnesota by creating a new position in the Justice Department. That position will be an assistant attorney general to look into fraud. Vice President Vance announced there will be an entirely new assistant attorney general position created. You'll find more of these stories.
Kick off your weekend with a little flair. It's Dino's Night Out every Friday from 2 to 4 p.m. on WRMN 1410 AM. Dino brings you the best of the Fox Valley's entertainment scene. Live music, local artists, street festivals, great eats, and the personalities behind them. If it's happening, Dino's talking about it. And bringing the spotlight is none other than the legendary Arcada Theater, located at 105 East Main Street in St. Charles. Catch dinner, drinks, and a show, all under one historic roof. So whether you're making plans or just love to know what's hot, make it a date with Dino's Night Out, Fridays, 2 to 4 p.m. on WRMN 1410 AM, or stream it live at WRMN1410.com. Dino's Night Out, powered by the Arcada Theater, where Fox Valley comes to play.
And welcome back, everybody. Ready to rock and roll. Just talk anything and everything that was NFL playoffs right here on WRMN 1410's On the Rise. Nick Johnston, Dalton Cooper, Mike Napolitano in the building. Let's flip over, go from the grassy knoll over to the diamond and the dust that is the Chicago Cubs. And on the other end, we got Blake Cowell, our Cubs insider for WRMN 1410. Blake, how we doing?
Oh, what's going on, guys? You guys, Mike showed up late, and it's game day. Why was that, Mike? I was here in the first segment. It's game day, and you're sleeping in.
No, I broadcast hockey as well, so equipment has to be picked up, and we have several games that are getting moved around for game day, though. So don't you worry. I hear you're going to be in town for game day. Is this true?
I got into town at about 9 a.m. Checked in, showered. We're getting ready to go. We're warming up. You got to be as good as the team. So
nice. Done more than I already have this morning. That's fantastic to hear.
Oh wow! I'm glad I'm on this side of the table. Oh
exactly
man.
Right. Well, exactly right. You heard over this past week, Cubs making some news, making some headwaves, and acquiring Edward Cabrera from the Miami Marlins. The full trade disclosed is Owen Casey and Christian Hernandez, as well as infielder Eduardo De Leon in this trade, heading down to Miami, and up comes Edward Cabrera. Arguably had one of his best years last season. So, Blake, flipping it over to you. Thoughts, questions, concerns on the trade, overall reactions. What are we getting in Edward Cabrera?
What we're getting, Edgar Cabrera, is actually pretty interesting. So the Cubs, they decide to go the trade route again this offseason to acquire a big piece. Last year was Kyle Tucker. Here they go with Edward Cabrera over in Miami. And if you've been following the team for a while, you'd know Jed Hoyer in Miami, they've been close on talks for years now. So this felt like a long time coming. And for Jed Hoyer, he kind of got the guys who he's wanted for a couple of years now, and he only had to give up his number one prospect. Now, Owen Casey, I personally like him as a prospect. Some guys go back and forth. Has a fit on the team, or had a fit on the team, but right now starting pitching was just more of what this team needed, and especially frontline starting pitching, and that's what Jed Hoyer got here. Now, no risk, no Rari, right? So the positive is dude throws a lot of off speed, has really wicked stuff, and also, too, for the Cubs, hard-throwing righty. He throws about I want to say he throws in like the 87th percentile, maxes out at like 97 with his fastball, likes his changeup and his off-speed a lot more, but generates more whiffs with his curveball changeup. But that does come with some injury risk as well. He's partially torn UCL, or sprained UCL, my apologies, last year. Struggled to stay at the major leagues earlier in his career, but with the Cubs pitching development, it sounds like that's a risk they're willing to take.
Yeah, exactly right. Like you mentioned, Owen Casey, the number one prospect, trade away from the Cubs there. In 26 at-bats this year, he had 5 hits, 1 home run, and 4 RBIs, averaging 192. So not a humongous sample size on the being in the show necessarily, but still very interesting to see again, like you mentioned, trading away a top prospect. Last year, they traded away Cam Smith over to the Houston Astros for Kyle Tucker, thank you. It always happens every time. I think Justin Tucker for whatever reason. I'm like, yeah, no, he's not kicking field goals. Well, neither is Justin Tucker either. But going the route of the trades over free agency. I think you mentioned that was also kind of the goal there. I think this is very interesting sighting. And again, how does he help influence the rotation for next season? What are we thinking there?
Yeah, so next season the Cubs rotation is going to start off a little funky because Justin Steele's probably not going to be back till what I would guess July. Now, he is rehabbing, but Craig Counsell came out and said at the winter meetings, like, we're in no rush to bring him back. He's still a big centerpiece of this rotation. So it starts with Cade Horton, who, call it how it is, he started off really strong, but he also doesn't have a big sample size as well. So he's your ace going into opening day. Matthew Boyd coming off a really good season, but that was his first injury-free season in a long time. Will we get lucky enough to see that again? Shodi Mananga, Jameson Tyone. So where I see Edward Cabrera is a solid 3 to start with the upside of becoming a 2 or potentially an ace, because people forget, too, Edward Cabrera, 28, going into his 28-year-old season, that's really when you start to see some starting pitchers like peak and actually get into their prime. They got 3 years of control. So I think if healthy by the end of the first season, you could look at him being a strong option in the playoffs, or hopefully the playoffs. But another guy to watch for, too, is Jackson Wiggins down in AAA, which, to be honest with you guys, going back to the Edward Cabrera trade, I'm surprised they didn't have to send Jackson Wiggins back in this trade. So I think it was a huge win for Jed Hoyer, at least in that regard, keeping his number one pitching prospect. So at least to start next season, you're going to look at Cade Horton, probably Matthew Boyd, too, with Edward Cabrera being your number 3. But there's a lot of guys that are in that mix to start, or at least be in that middle tier of pitchers. But you know what the cap is with Jameson Tyone. Like, you kind of know what the cap is with Matthew Boyd. And with a guy like Edward Cabrera, we're not really sure where that ceiling's at yet. So kind of a difference from this year to last year. There's a lot of upside on this staff with Cade Horton still progressing, with Edward Cabrera, with Jackson Wiggins, and then getting Justin Steele back. So to start the year, I think the rotation's going to be a tad shaky, because no one's really going to know their exact role. But I think this is a staff that at least you can look forward to at the trade deadline or toward August as the summer progresses, as being a pretty solid pitching staff once playoff time hopefully comes around.
I see everything that you're saying, and I definitely agree. And I think the biggest thing that we were talking about with this Cubs team was the lack of pitching depth when it came down to, crunch time, Game 5 against the Brewers, and that was a bullpen game. So I think this is a huge win for the Cubs as it goes, like you said, once the rotation can get settled in and everybody's healthy. My only concern with this one was, of course, you give up such a big prospect in Owen Casey, but can they fill that hole elsewhere? Yes. Would I have liked to have seen a bigger name than maybe Edward Cabrera for Owen Casey? Yes, but you probably would have had to given up something a little bit more. And also, what else was out there, right? Like, I mean, a lot of the pitchers that were in free agency or could be traded for, that would have costed a much bigger ticket that I don't know if they were willing to pay or were already swallowed up by new teams, right? So even on the South side, they're still talking about, mid-range pitchers that the White Sox are looking to pick up, and there are a couple of even big names on that list, and I don't think any of that is going to happen, being a Sox fan as I am. Could the Cubs have gone after one of those names? Sure, but I think they made the right move here.
Yeah, I think they did too. I will personally say I thought Tatsuya Imai was a really good fit for the Cubs. But as his market developed, and as you know with Murakami's market, these Japanese guys that came over, their markets started off really inflated because, we've seen the success of what some of these guys look like Shohei Ohtani, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Roki Sasaki, like really high-end studs coming from Japan. But this group just didn't really excite a lot of people in baseball. And I know Lance Brozdowski with Marquee Network did a good job kind of covering this and saying, a lot of teams that put out their offers said, we're not willing to shell out a lot of money until we see what you actually are as a player. And for the Cubs, I think there was a little bit more comfortability seeing a guy like Edward Cabrera that has pitched at the major league level and seeing how he could progress as a pitcher. As well as 2 to 3 years of control. It's something important to look at here, too, is Jed Hoyer really loves going. That's why I thought the Kyle Tucker move was out of character for Jed Hoyer because it was a rental. But now he's going for a guy with 3 years of control, gives him something to work with for years to come. Because after 2026, if there is no lockout in 2027, there's a lot of people on this Cubs roster that don't have contracts with the team. So gives them some stability. I would have loved, too, to see him sign a free agent, specifically Dylan Cease as well. But just glad that they at least got their biggest glaring need because similar to the trade deadline, everyone knew they needed starting pitching. They held that price really high to the Cubs. And now this offseason, that price went down, so Jed Hoyer was willing to take a chance.
Yeah.
If there was any name that I was alluding to on that quote-unquote mid-tier list that the White Sox were looking at, it was Dylan Cease, which would have been a full circle moment for the Cubs getting him back. But I agree with you. I think this was different. But also to your comment of if there's a lockout in 2027, that's maybe more of a when rather than an if, I think, at this point, unless, there's a new CBA agreed upon. And I don't think there's going to be much agreeing going back and forth. But that is, we'll cross that bridge when we get to a type of thing, I guess.
Yeah. There's got to be another move up the Cubs' sleeve, wouldn't you say, Blake? And if you had to guess, I guess, tell me why it's Bo Bichette.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Bo Bichette. The one thing that it makes me feel like he's probably out of the Cubs' price range, number one, but two, he doesn't really play good defense, and that's something the Cubs hang their hat on. They won the team Gold Glove last year, had a lot of Gold Glove finalists, so bringing in Bo Bichette I think doesn't fit their defensive philosophy, but his offensive profile really fits what their philosophy is trying to do. He's a hit machine. 2024 was kind of an outlier year. 2025 had a really good season, obviously got to the World Series, had a really signature moment in Game 7. So a playoff riser, as I like to say, something that I at least look at. I like seeing the gamers and people. We're talking about Caleb Williams. Is he a gamer? We're going to find out tonight. I think Bo Bichette's a big gamer as well. But I would say this, too. As much as I like Bo Bichette, I do think that Alex Bregman is, I would say, 50-50 right now between the Cubs and the Red Sox. I would be surprised if he went to a team outside of those two at this point. Fits their defensive profile. I don't think his swing is going to be great at Wrigley Field, or at least his offensive production. He's a very pull-heavy hitter to the left side, similar to what Isaac Paredes was. Wrigley Field is the deepest corners in Major League Baseball, so I see his slugging go down. However, he doesn't chase. He doesn't strike out. Walks a ton, which I think over the long term is something the Cubs value a lot more than what slugging is. So I'd keep my eyes more on Alex Bregman as a realistic possibility, but for radio's sake on a Saturday morning, I would love to see them shell out some money for Bo Bichette.
So can I officially give up on my Zach Gallen hopes? Can I sell that stock?
I would probably sell that stock at this point.
Well, considering how many insiders report that news early.
Right, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I would say probably sell your stock.
I think the only other two names that, of the four that I kind of hear going around, it's Bo Bichette, Kyle Tucker, who we also mentioned, Alex Bregman. I just feel like there's one other name that's kind of lurking around, but maybe I'm off on that one. So with that being said, who is maybe the final piece or the big prospect, the big free agent that's out there that the Cubs are eyeing right now? Who's the final piece that the Cubs need to pull in your mind? What maybe the bold prediction of who they bring in for this year?
Yeah, I would love Bo Bichette. Like, I'll start with that because that's kind of what I just mentioned. I would love a world where him, Nico Horner, and Matt Shaw could kind of all coexist on the same field somehow. I just think they're all going to be like really good players if they played together just because they make a lot of contact, they hit the ball hard. That's something that I love in a player. But I think if I'm giving you a realistic option, I'm still sticking with Alex Bregman. He takes over at third. You move Matt Shaw to a super utility role because he can play second, short, third. I would personally love to see Matt Shaw get some outfield time this year because Ian Happ's gone in 2027. Seiya Suzuki could be gone in 2027. So kind of planning for the future because, like we just mentioned, Owen Casey's not here anymore. He was the big outfield prospect. So seeing Matt Shaw play, I think left field this year would be interesting. But we need some more lineup depth. We saw last year what happened when Kyle Tucker went down and some other pieces like Willie Castro was getting probably too many at-bats than he was worth. So giving those at-bats to Matt Shaw, still kind of developing his bat because no one questions Matt Shaw's defense at third. It's really more of what he can do with the bat over the course of a season. So putting Bregman at third takes that pressure off, Dansby at short, Nico at second, and then Matt Shaw kind of roaming around the field getting playing time, every third day, if you will, because it's baseball. It's a long season. Injuries will happen at some point. So I'd rather have that depth there. So I'd say Alex Bregman from a lineup perspective. I think he's kind of the last piece before CubsCon. You can say, all right, this is our team. Let's go try and win 95 games.
There you go. And it sounds like I said, it seems like it's kind of a little bit of a debate of like, hey, do we want a left fielder or an outfielder that's a lefty right now, or do we want an infield righty? What's kind of going off that trade-off right there. Blake, I'll go ahead and get you on this last question here before we get on out of here. Heading out to the game today between Bears and Packers. How are you getting ready? How are you celebrating? Where are you sitting? What's the feeling going into Bears Packers going into tonight?
Yeah, how would you suggest that the Bears jumpstart their day better than Mike jumpstarted his day on the show?
Taking strays.
Ouch, jeez.
Shots fired.
I've got jobs, man.
Mike's a busy guy. I see the Instagram. I see the Snapchat. He's a busy guy. We'll give him some slack. But,
wait till I drop more baseball news with the Chicago Snowballs coming to town. We got a chance to see their tryout yesterday. So, Blake, we'll have to get you in for maybe some of that come May. It's the Savannah Bananas style team sportstainment team coming to Chicago here.
Ooh, I don't know if I like that new word.
But,
it doesn't roll off the tongue, right?
Yeah. Doing a little tailgating out here around 2. Going to be shooting a little boots on the ground content, but sitting in the lower bowl, we if you make the drive, you got to ball out a little bit, get you some good seats. So we'll be a few rows off the field. But I'll tell you what, man, the biggest X factor for tonight got to be, for me at least, Austin Booker. You got to get after the passer. You got to rush. A lot of these comments by these Packer players took that Jordan Love hit a little personal last time. I think that fires back on him a little bit, and Austin Booker says, all right, I'm gonna show you what some legal hits look like and sack your quarterback a few times. So on top of that, too, if anyone's listening in the Chicagoland area, don't be scared of the Packers. Do not be scared of what was. Caleb Williams as a quarterback we've never had. Ben Johnson is a play caller this city's never seen. It's totally different. Bear down. Give me Bears 27, Packers 23, Bears win and move on to round 2.
And they cover. Is Ben Johnson the best coach the Bears have had since Mike Ditka?
Ooh, I probably need to see a little more. I'm a big Lovie Smith guy, but as far as play caller goes, it's tough for me to find anyone better than what he's able to bring.
Yeah. Because Lovie did make a Super Bowl
appearance.
Yeah.
And that
he did
run.
win an NFC championship.
Lovie also helped the Bears as the Houston Texans head coach.
Yes,
so
that's true too.
Out there.
Legend.
Oh my goodness. Well, Blake, I mean, it is exactly 1 month until pitchers and catchers report, so I'm sure we will be talking to you a lot more when it comes to baseball. And like I said, with the snowballs coming through, head over to our Instagram. I'll be posting that stuff up. Dalton will be helping me with that in the next 2-3 days. We'll get all that information out as they are just having tryouts. But as far as Cubs and MLB goes, we'll be corresponding with you as we get to pitchers and catchers report. We'll have some other baseball guests coming around the bend here in just a second. But enjoy the game, my man, and bear down.
Yeah. Blake, how can the people find you at home really quick?
Find me at home, Blake Howell X on all platforms, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. You can find more of my stuff from there. That's a good place to start.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining in and talking to us today. Fantastic time. Exactly that. Enjoy the game. Bear down. We'll see you then. Talk to you very much soon. It was fantastic. Well, guys, that was Blake Howell, our insider, our Cubs insider here at WRMN 1410. Again, fantastic right there. We'll go ahead.
Big seam head. That guy knows ball.
Oh yeah, absolutely right.
He was down at I think we talked to him around the time he was at the winter meetings, and he's going to be covering a lot more of his North Siders going into 2026. Big season for the Cubs here, especially like we said, going into what could be a potential lockout. There is going to be an All-Star game at Wrigley, provided there is no lockout. So, where's the 2026 All-Star game? I don't know. Did they announce that, or is that the one at Wrigley? Because I was pretty sure the All-Star game was set for Wrigley for 2027, but that's if there's a season. So I'd have to double check that. But I know the WNBA All-Star game is going to be
it'll be in Philly this year for the 2026
Philly this year,
so 2027.
Yeah, if there's a
Chicago
WNBA All-Star game is here in Chicago coming up this summer. That is the same.
AHL All-Star
even before that, the AHL All-Star game. And I did want to get into hockey in just a little bit, but before that,
we got some time. I was going to say maybe this would have been the perfect opportunity. Hopping in some hockey notes, anything for the minors that you guys got.
Yeah. So, before that, I'll say that the reason I bring up the WNBA All-Star game is because it's the same weekend that the Savannah Bananas do come to town and play at Wrigley. So WRMN will be in attendance for that one. But switching gears into the hockey side of things, it's been a big week for the Blackhawks, back on a little bit more of a winning pace. But then it gets stunted last night, despite the return of Connor Bedard. You did have Alex Ovechkin in the house. It was probably his last time playing in Chicago. They get the win 5-1 over the Blackhawks, and Ovi has a goal to add to his incredible tally. But the Blackhawks dismantling the Blues earlier this week, a 7-3 victory. That was off the heels of a 3-2 victory over the Golden Knights in overtime and a 3-2 victory over those same Capitals out in Washington in a shootout just that night prior. So it's been a big week for the Blackhawks. We had left off with them beating the Dallas Stars in regulation 4-3, just how they had beaten the Stars earlier on in the week in overtime, in a shootout in that one as well. So couple more wins in the column for the Blackhawks, and it's been an interesting season where, 1 week we're talking about, are they making a push for that wild card seed? And then as soon as Connor Bedard and some of the other teammates go down with injuries, whether that's Frank Nazar, Nick Foligno, now we're talking, okay, now they're at the very bottom of the league and they are high up for a potential draft pick again. But then you take one more week and we're back into talking about, where are they in no man's land, So they do make a trade. There was a trade. Nolan Allen was sent over to the San Jose Sharks? Yeah, I believe. Let me just double check those details of that trade to get that correct. But
they got Brossoit as well.
Laurent Brossoit went in that trade.
I got it right here. The Sharks sent defenseman Ryan Ellis, Jake Furlong, along with a 2028 fourth-round pick to the Blackhawks for Brossoit and defenseman Nolan Allen, and a 2028 seventh-round pick.
I'm not sure how to feel about Ellis. I haven't heard a whole lot from him recently. Furlong is also a name that, you kind of heard here and there, but maybe more of an AHL guy. 2028 fourth round pick. I don't know what that really does for you. I mean, it moves you up from that 2028 seventh round pick that you traded to San Jose. A little disappointed to see Nolan Allen go for not a whole lot here. I think if you're the Blackhawks, yes, you're in a selling mentality because you're not probably going to make the playoffs. You might be playing meaningful games in through March, maybe even in through April. But I don't think you're selling in a way here where, is Ryan Ellis a long-term guy that fits the puzzle? I don't see that. I don't know enough about him. But that just kind of tells me that it's a no.
I think it's just a swap of salary caps, honestly, because they both make about the same money between Brossoit and Ellis.
At least you got something for Brossoit. We had talked about earlier. They had thrown Brossoit on waivers. You were surprised that he cleared, but I think that was more of a move because if you just go and trade Brossoit, any team that picks him up has to keep him on their roster for 30 days. So I think that was more of a move of, okay, the Blackhawks can send him down, he can clear waivers, and then you can trade him a little bit more freely to a team that would take him with less restrictions, so you would have to give up less to get rid of him. And he had been doing all right at the AHL level since coming back from that long injury stint. So to get something for Brossoit is nice. I think he could still probably be a solid backup goaltender in this league.
Which they needed, because I think Askarov is kind of their future in San Jose.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't have a backup.
And Askarov had been moved from, Nashville already. So, I mean, it's I don't know if it's not looking good if he's not panning out as much as he should be. But another goaltender that I think some people are worried that he's not panning out as he should be is Drew Commesso. And I want to talk about him a little bit more. He was in net last night, of course, going up against Alexander Ovechkin and a red-hot Capitals team. It's going to be tough to be in net, but that's because there's a stomach bug going around in the United Center, I think mostly with the Blackhawks, but I think with the ice system as well. So we'll have to talk a little bit about that here after the break. You had Spencer Knight out. You had Arvid Soderblom out. You had like half of the Blackhawks coaching staff out. Jeff Blashill had it. Louis Crevier. So let's hope everybody gets healthy because, like Blake said, it's game day.
Yeah, get your flu shots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be spinning the wheel and get a couple more notes here on the rest of the Chicago teams right here on WRMN 1410 on the Rise.
Hi, this is Sherry Aschenbrenner, Vice President of Dementia Friendly Elgin Area. Everyone knows somebody living with dementia. Caregivers and friends of those with dementia are always welcome at our Elgin Area Memory Cafe, always the second Tuesday of every month at 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. at the South Elgin Public Works Building, 1000 Bowes Road in South Elgin. Also, Dementia Friendly Elgin Area gives free 20-minute dementia awareness trainings to local businesses, church groups, to bunco groups. Just invite us. If you'd like to get put on Sherry's senior email blast list, please email us at dfelist@gmail.com. Also, you can go and visit our website at dementiafriendlyelginarea.org.
Tune in to Sherry's Senior Moments radio show on the second Thursday of each month at 9:05 a.m. until 10 a.m. on WRMN AM 1410, WRMN Radio app, or WRMN Radio on YouTube. That's Sherry's Senior Moments, providing resources and information for our seniors in the community.
Clutter happens, but junk doesn't have to weigh you down. At the Junk Luggers, we're your full-service junk removal and hauling pros, tackling everything from single-item pickups to major cleanouts. We handle the heavy lifting, and with our commitment to the Green Way, we rehome and recycle to keep your unwanted items out of landfills. So, whether you're clearing out the garage, downsizing, or saying goodbye to old furniture, we make the process eco-friendly and easy. Call 1-800-LUG-JUNK or visit junkluggers.com today. Let's save your space and the planet together.
When it comes to orthopedic and spine surgery, Prime Healthcare St. Joseph Hospital in Elgin leads the way. Recognized by U.S. News and World Report as a high performer across multiple surgery types, we offer advanced and minimally invasive procedures supported by state-of-the-art imaging technology. Our expert surgeons and compassionate care teams are here to help you move, heal, and live better every step of the way. St. Joseph Hospital in Elgin, exceptional care close to home.
Most people out here think that taking care of one another is important. And most people would step up for a neighbor going through a tough time. Most people around here help out friends and family when they need it. But the funny thing is, most of us won't look for help when we need it. If you're struggling with mental health, you should know that there are resources out there that can help. and it's okay to talk about it if you need to. One place to get started with information is loveyourmindtoday.org. Loveyourmindtoday.org offers a range of guides, instructions, and insights for dealing with difficult situations or getting through a tough time. If you're struggling with mental health, get the help you need, because most people out here really care. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Listen this Sunday afternoon to Handle on the Law.
I know we're at an at-will date, but for making a comment, like, hey, your hair looks good. And then I got a call from HR saying, hey, you know what, you're under investigation. Do I have any recourse?
Were you fired?
No, not yet.
The problem, Eddie, is they can fire you for any reason they want. They literally can wake up in the morning and say, you know what, I'm a little bored this morning. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to fire Eddie for no reason. Yep, he can do that. Yeah, that's California. Yep, welcome.
It's Handle on the Law this Sunday afternoon from 4 to 7 right here on WRMN.
There's a price war in the insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call the Term Lifeline right now and see if you can save 40%. $500,000 plans and up, that's our specialty. Even great smokers' rates. Protect your family today. Call the Term Lifeline right now for a free quote. 866-509-TERM, 866-509-TERM, 866-509-TERM.
Welcome back, everybody. WRMN 1410 on the rise. Nick Johnson, Dalton Cooper, Mike Napolitano. We took a lot of time, talked about some NFL. Had Blake Cowell, our Cubs insider for 1410, WRMN 1410 on the rise, talking about that Cubs trade, getting Edward Cabrera. Talking a little ice, and then, of course, we got our little spin the wheel action to end today. But, yeah, go ahead and, Mike, I'm going to throw it back to you. Get us back into that. Just back on the ice. We've got some hockey notes and news to get to.
We were talking about the, I guess, injury bug, as in flu bug, for the Chicago Blackhawks that's been going around, and it kept a lot of players either out of last night's game. You mentioned Scott Foster earlier, but it was a different Scott Foster. But Scott Foster, the accountant, the E-Bug, emergency backup goaltender, was on the ice yesterday for the Blackhawks for morning skate, just because of the fact that both Laurent Brossoit, Arvid Soderblom, and Spencer Knight were both down for the count with whatever this flu is going around the team. That meant that the Blackhawks had to recall Drew Comesso from Rockford to play in the game, so drove down from Rockford during the day to play against the Capitals. He also came with Kevin Korchinski, who made his NHL debut this year. I mean, of course, he's played games with the Blackhawks before, but that was his first NHL contest last night. Looked okay. Blackhawks as a whole, though, looked a little shaky against the Capitals team that was just red hot. And, Alexander Ovechkin's kind of hard to stop that guy. But as far as Blackhawks season goes, we talked about being sellers. Tyler Bertuzzi has more goals than Leon Draisaitl, is what you were saying during the break. Yeah. That man is firing on all cylinders, and mostly it's just because all he has to do is stand in front of the net and redirect pucks, get those gritty goals, those garbage goals. You see the Blackhawks trading him for, his trade value has never been higher.
I would love to see them move him.
Who do you think right now would be a good fit to pick him up and for the Blackhawks to receive something worthwhile in return? Now, worthwhile at this point, in my mind, does not necessarily mean high draft picks, just because I feel like you're far enough in the rebuild that you can get something NHL caliber back. But I don't know if any playoff teams are going to look to give something like that up. So it may be a high first-round pick, and I'd be okay with that too. But do you see anybody right now that could be looking for a Tyler Bertuzzi?
Well, there's a couple. The biggest team that comes to my mind, I think, is Dallas. I think Dallas has needed to make a move to counter the Quinn Hughes move that Minnesota made, because they're kind of the odd man out right now. I mean, obviously, they're still tied in the Central. The money situation's a little bit. I think Bertuzzi's like $5.5 million cap hit. They have a little under $4 million, so they'd have to probably retain some money. But they do have draft picks. Again, Minnesota's got a little bit of money to spend, but they don't really have the draft capital, I think, that the Blackhawks would be after. You could look at somebody like Utah. Utah would be they've needed They need more of a center, though. That's kind of the only problem that I see with Bertuzzi. Even Philadelphia. Philadelphia's been a very nice surprise this year, along with the
Trevor
Islanders.
Zegras.
Yeah, but Philly's got like almost $15 million in cap space to work with right now. So I think there's a couple teams out there that could really spark some interest. Like I said before going to break, if you could get a first-round pick back for Tyler Bertuzzi, I would sell it in a heartbeat. I wouldn't even think about it. I would sign on the dotted line. If you could get multiple picks, that's great. But if you could just, we'll give you a first next year for Tyler Bertuzzi. He does have 3 years left. He's got term through 27, 28. So it's not like it's the most expendable piece, because I think you could talk yourself into getting multiple picks out of it. But I think definitely a contending team that is looking for a depth piece. I mean, he'd be great on anybody's second or third line.
As we were talking about, the Blackhawks are actually only 4 points out of a wild card spot behind Utah. But I mean, and they do have a game in hand against a couple different teams, but it's really going to be more of a selling season here for the Blackhawks. And Bertuzzi's not the only name. I mean, you've got Jason Dickinson that could be on there. Yeah. You've got Ryan Donato, which you signed him, but
same deal too.
Burakovsky would be another big ticket right there that would probably be on a trade block. Even your captain Nick Foligno, maybe.
Yeah. This is last year for Foligno, by the way.
I don't see them doing that, especially because you pretty much know Foligno is probably retiring after this season. But I would say that the Blackhawks have a couple of moves to make here. I don't want to see too much more of the youth go. You traded Nolan Allen, okay. I don't really want to see any of the youth that's playing up at the NHL level go right now. Yeah. Maybe there's a couple of defensive moves in the AHL that you can make. Kevin Korchinski was rumored at the start of the season to be one of those. Maybe you pulled him up to see some NHL time for other teams to kind of get a look at Kevin Korchinski. So maybe that is a move. But I would hold off, especially till after the AHL All-Star Game, which we will be covering here. AM 1410 WRMN will be up in Rockford at the start of February, so we'll be bringing you some of that news as we get closer to that. It'll be Patrick Sharp and Chris Versteeg as the honorary coaches or team captains, basically, for that. So that'll be pretty cool to see. But as far as other hockey news goes, and talking about the Blackhawks youth, the World Junior Championship wrapped up this past week, and the talk of the entire championship, at least for the Chicagoans, was Sweden, who won the gold medal because of the fact that Anton Frundell, Blackhawks' most recent highest draft pick, is a gold medal winner and a huge part in that victory for Team Sweden. He went through that entire tournament, posting some just incredible numbers for Team Sweden. It's a quick tournament, but to be able to pot 5 goals and a total of 8 points in 7 games, that was huge. You also had Vaclav Nestersil for the Blackhawks. He was representing who was the runner-ups? It was Czechia. Czechia. Yeah. 7 games, 8 points, 2 goals in those 8 points. So huge showing from the Blackhawks prospects there. As far as prospects go,
we could see Frondell this year. By the way,
we could see Frondell this year. I don't know if that's going to happen. It would depend on how the whole rest of this season goes. But I wouldn't be completely surprised with how the last couple of seasons have gone with high-end draft picks for the Blackhawks. Did we see them bring up Lev Shunov last year? No, I think it was this year, right?
He got some playing time at the end of last season.
Did he get some playing time?
I think Frondell you could see 10 to 12 games out of Frondell at the end of the season.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be great.
Is it Michigan State he's at, or is it Michigan?
He's in the SHL.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Who am I thinking of?
You're thinking of Porter Martone, I think, or I think Martone plays in NCAA.
Who's at Michigan right now for the Blackhawks? All right, I could have sworn there was an NCAA player right now. But anyways, no, yeah, that is definitely doable. As far as prospects go, now the Blackhawks can't actually own a USHL team because that's a development league. So as anybody knows in the hockey community, the Wirtz family purchased the Chicago Steel. It's not the Blackhawks that have purchased the Chicago Steel. It would be a conflict of interest and there'd be corruption draft level wise. But the development league, that is the U.S. Hockey League, the Chicago Steel have called Fox Valley Ice Arena home for their entire existence, basically, almost before. Actually, it was after they moved from the Edge. Now they will call the new Chicago Blackhawks Ice Arena home. And I got a chance to see that last night. Go ahead and check it out on my Instagram. That is Fifth Third Arena, the extension, the addition that was built onto Fifth Third Arena. And it's now 4-hole rinks. It is beautiful. So I implore you to go and check that out. That will be the future home. I believe it's called USG Arena is what they're calling that fourth rink where the Steel will play. The Steel dropped a brand new logo and a new motto as well, dopest non-NHL franchise. So what a motto to go by. But it's going to be a really cool facility. It's beautiful in there, all brand new. Of course, one of the rinks we were broadcasting on was one of the original Fifth Third rinks. But that third and that fourth rink are just incredible. So
you also made your way out to Detroit, correct?
I did. That was New Year's Eve for Patrick Kane versus Jonathan Toews. First ever time that the two of them were meeting up. I was hoping to see Patrick Kane's 500th career goal in person. He was sitting at 499 when we entered that game. Especially, it would be cool to do it against Jonathan Toews because you got to imagine he's going to get an extra hug and an extra high five. But the two of them hugged beforehand. I posted that on social media. I may post that as a permanent fixture on social media pretty soon because that was worth the trip, just getting to see them say hi to each other in warm-ups. The Red Wings did win 2-1, but the lone goal for the Jets was assisted by the former Blackhawks captain, Jonathan Toews. So what a time. And both since then, I don't think it was any question that Jonathan Toews was not going to be playing for any Olympic team, but Kane has been snubbed, and we talked about that last week from Team USA, but he does hit the milestone of his 500th goal, and he was there to celebrate it with his Red Wings teammates and his son, Patrick Kane III.
I did like what Patrick Kane, the son, said afterward. He said, he basically told him, I want you to play till you're 75 and score 600 goals.
Play till you're 75 and score 600 goals, and Kane just laughed that off, and he's like, I got to play a long time.
Anything for both of you on just like, it was an empty netter to get 500. Does that take it away at all? But obviously hitting 500 is hitting 500. You can't take that away.
Ask Alex Ovechkin how he feels about that.
I just felt like I should ask.
No, true. But yeah, no, that was incredible. And Patrick Kane the third, his son, he's saying all that in an interview. Can you imagine if in about like 18 years we're seeing him become one of the best U.S.-born players ever to follow in his dad's footsteps? Yeah. I mean, those are big shoes to fill, and I don't want to put that on the kid's shoulders.
Patrick Kane, the fifth American-born player to hit 500 goals, which would have also been kind of another softball, law ball, just kind of like, is he going to be going down as one of the greatest American-born players of all time? It has to be.
Yeah. To me, he is the best American-born player. I've met Mike Modano, and here being a Chicagoan, we see guys like Chris Chelios, or even to an extent, you can make the argument, Eddie Olczyk. But I would say it's Patrick Kane, hands down. Austin Matthews is on pace to have more goals, but is he an all-around better player? I don't know.
We'll have to see.
I don't know. Time will tell.
If Connor Hellebuck could ever win a Stanley Cup, he would have an argument for best
Yes,
American player.
I would even see that too. It's a little tough to compare with goaltenders, but yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Well, for good there. I got my little game here.
Were you thinking of Mason West, by the way, as that Michigan? Because he plays.
That was probably who I was thinking of.
Okay. I was just curious because I don't think I was looking for prospects that play on Michigan. I don't see any that play.
I could have sworn Frondell was playing NCAA.
No, he's playing in Sweden.
He's still playing SHL. Yeah. Maybe I was. Lev Shunov played for Michigan State. I may be a year removed in what I was thinking.
Yeah, give me the wheel.
There we go.
Let's get this wheel going.
There we go. So here we are, folks. I got 10 topics I wrote up myself last night. We're going to go ahead and spin the wheel and exactly that. Let the wheel decide what we're talking about for the next about 10 minutes or so.
This should be a staple. We need to get like a little sound effect going even with this.
Yeah. I got, the wheel kind of makes a little bit of noise.
I did hear that sound effect.
A little intro.
Where is this on?
I got a little wheel. I got a little wheel app on here. Yeah, there we go. So I'm going to fly over to number 7 on here. It starts off on the entertainment side of things for this one. So kind of, like I said, a little bit of football, a little bit of basketball. I got some entertainment, and I got some college in here as well. So number 7 reads, Stranger Things.
Don't even get me started.
Straight up. Did you like the ending? Yay or nay? Reactions also to the fake episode. There was the conformity gate. Yes. The potential episode 9 that did not happen, obviously. Just thoughts, questions, concerns about Stranger Things in general. Spoilers or none.
Yeah,
However you want to go with
don't
this.
give me spoil. We literally just started watching Stranger Things.
Oh, yeah, we won't go too far.
2, we
Okay,
just started,
gotcha. Okay.
So don't try not to give me any spoilers. It's fascinating so far, though. It is.
Okay.
It's interesting. I do like obviously how the kids have kind of. I enjoyed the show. I think so far from like the aspect of okay, we already know these kids are going to grow up and they're going to be like the same kids. They're not different actors and stuff like that. But I can't really speak to any of the spoilers or not. So I'll leave that to you, like how the season ended.
Yeah, I won't spoil anything, but I am not satisfied.
Okay, really.
It was if you take it at face value, there were certain parts of it that were satisfying. And then for me, the rest of me is like, all right, but like there's all these inconsistencies. So I'm not satisfied. Okay. And this could mean I said they kind of Sopranos'd us. Because
a little bit.
Because there's and there's a face value Sopranos'd us that I won't spoil for him for his sake. That it's like, oh, okay, all right, they're going that route. And then you take a look at the entire show as a whole and you're like, is this whole thing Sopranos? We don't know. We don't know what actually happened. We're questioning our own reality here, which I think is a really beautiful writing tool by the Duffer Brothers.
Yeah.
But it grinds my gears that there is no solid ending here.
Okay.
Which is why I think Conformity Gate was wrong. We didn't get a 9th episode on the 7th. I still think that there is going to be something released still after this.
Like a spinoff or
There's a documentary coming out on the 12th, so we're only 2 days removed from that. I do think that there is going to be something in that. Millie Bobby Brown said, or Millie Bobby Bon Jovi is what she is now. She's married to John Bon Jovi's son, but she said that the finale was very meta.
Okay.
Did you feel like any of that was meta to you?
No.
I mean, like I'm saying, like
really
we got Sopranos,
like
and you know there is different.
We got Sopranos. Vecna came in. What? No ZD?
But yeah. But I don't see any That's not my definition of meta. So I feel like this documentary that's coming out, there's a lot of conspiracies and similarities drawn to the Freddy Krueger, the Nightmare on Elm Street's entire filmography. I feel like we might get something along that, but will I hate that even more? Kinda, yeah.
Okay.
So
this was Mike's Mamma Mia last week.
It was my Mamma Mia. So yeah, you've struck a chord. No,
that's fine. That's fair. That's what the wheel does.
I'm upset. So yeah, I do think there needs to be more of this story told. There's going to be a bunch of spin-offs though too.
You think so?
They've confirmed a couple of the spin-offs.
I know that the only one for sure is that cartoon that's going to be like in between season 2 and in between season 3.
I think they also confirmed the Nancy Wheeler one.
Okay.
Nancy Wheeler Confidential, but like
I don't. How interesting is it?
Right?
I mean,
like after you've gone through 5 seasons of, I think Nancy's great. But after you've gone through 5 seasons,
I think she's irresponsible. She's out here partying on school nights and not studying. So
just wait, pal, just wait.
Man.
But once you've gotten to this conclusion. And you see where her life is going, not to give any spoilers, but you're like, is any of this real? I don't even know. Like, are we going to have a whole spin-off on something that's not real?
What else we got on the wheel here?
That's good. Yeah, exactly. I'll just leave it as, I like the ending. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my time. I'll spin around and go. Where we land, who knows? We'll find out. What's the wheel landing us here today?
Wheel of Fate. We got to come up with a name for the wheel.
Oh, yeah. The almighty wheel. The wheel giveth and the wheel taketh away, as we all know. All right, this is a little bit of a fun one. This might be...
I like the little audio.
This might be a little tougher on this side, but I might just stick to the top 10. I have right here, ranking the Heisman winners since 2000. Just want to get you a simple, do you agree, do you not agree? I'm not going to go through all 25 that they have listed here. I'll go from the top 10.
Okay.
From 10, Marcus Mariota.
Okay.
Number 9, Derrick Henry.
Okay.
Number 8, Tim Tebow.
Okay.
Number 7, Jameis Winston.
Wow.
Number 6, Lamar Jackson. Number 5, Travis Hunter. Number 4, Johnny Manziel. 3, Reggie Bush. 2, Cam Newton. And number 1 being Joe Burrow. This is ranked by Sports Nation's Bill Bender.
I think first glance, I would agree with Joe Burrow being number 1. I think Tebow should probably be a little bit higher on that list.
Yeah, given the time that. Yeah.
Just outside was Devonta Smith, Matt Leinart, Kyler Murray, Robert Griffin III, Baker Mayfield, and then Caleb Williams at 16.
I think it's more fascinating that they have.
I think that list is pretty right.
They have Lamar Jackson that high. I mean, he
It's
played
six.
in the ACC.
Yeah, maybe a little lower. Still in the top 10, but
yeah, I would say still. I think I would flip Tebow and Lamar Jackson. Maybe
man,
Derrick
the
Henry a
start of
little
that
higher.
list, though, I mean, Titans fans are just kicking themselves.
Yeah, Mariota, Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
That's
fair,
a good
yeah.
point,
Yeah.
No, I don't see too many problems with that.
Any recency bias with Travis Hunter at 5, or is it really that spectacular, the cornerback, wide receiver?
I mean, he was the first defensive player to win it in what, like 35 years?
Something like
Yeah,
that.
I think that's
since
reasonable.
Charles Woodson, I think, won it.
Okay.
So,
Is he? But where was Jackson? Was he?
Lamar at 6, just behind
Oh,
it.
so, yeah, he-
Hunter at 5.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
That's fine. Yeah. I mean, yeah, like you said, he could be a little lower, but if Travis Hunter was behind Lamar Jackson, then I'd say maybe just switch those two.
Yeah, I don't mind that list.
But yeah, no, that list is
I was
all right.
good. When you
All right.
first asked the question, I was like, Joe Burrow has to probably be number 1.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I just want to make sure not too controversial.
agree.
At least get 1 or 2 more on this wheel as we got about 4 minutes.
They're probably the
so.
greatest college football team of all time.
I'm so glad that the Bengals are in the playoffs because Joe Burrow is such a great quarterback.
That's good.
Oh wait, there's that defense.
Here we are, folks. I like this one. Myles Garrett breaks the single season sack record at 23 sacks. However, did you hear Jared Allen? Did you hear what he had to say
Yes.
about this? I don't know if anyone else
not.
did.
Yes, I
Here's Jared Allen on Up and Adams. I'm going to see if we can get the whole thing of him explaining that he actually
had.
holds the 23 sacks and not Myles Garrett.
I still argue, and you can ask Aaron Rodgers. I heard you talk about him earlier. I had 23 that year. They took a sack from me. Monday Night Football, Aaron Rodgers. They called it a muff on Wednesday. They gave it a team sack versus giving it to me. I'm on the team, so I should at least get a half of it.
I'll be the judge of this. Talk me through this. Okay.
I mean, he made a football move, so that's a fumble. That's not a muff. They
It's
called that a muff.
clearly your sack.
Yeah, so if they
He's
from
like
here
scrambling.
Yeah, from here they kind of break down the play and watch it as you can kind of see. Snap it directly to Aaron Rodgers. He doesn't fumble. He doesn't make a move. He does make a football move trying to get out of the pocket. Stumbles, fumbles the ball, and sure enough, Jared Allen is on top of him. Again, as Jared Allen just as said, they took it back the following Wednesday and called it a team sack.
Oh,
does he have legs? Does he have legs to this argument? Okay.
When you watch that play, 100% Jared Allen has got legs. I mean, it goes back to who had it before him because he literally he argued with Brett
would have been
Favre.
Strahan.
No, who Strahan broke that guy's record, the guy that I'm referring to.
Oh, the guy from the Jets.
From the 86,
yeah.
But he even argued that Brett Favre took a dive for Strahan to break the record, and he was very upset about it. He
was right there. He was going to make the play.
He confronted Brett Favre about that, too.
Oh, my sack back.
I think Jared Allen's definitely
my sack back.
Yeah. I think Jared Allen definitely does have legs to stand on here.
Okay.
If you watch that play, it's a sack. Like, the quarterback goes down behind line of scrimmage. Jared Allen is the first guy to pounce on him. Honestly, I think if you remember looking at that play, he was like the only guy that could have jumped on Aaron Rodgers right away.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair. Let's try and get at least one more in here before we head on out of here. I think this should be good.
I like this ending. I like this is fun.
Yeah,
that's a good way to end it.
Here we are, landing on number 4. One of my favorites, as I was writing this down. Max Crosby was benched in Week 17 when the Raiders took on the Giants in what was essentially the battle for the number 1 overall pick. Obviously, the Raiders lost that game to the Giants and now have the number 1 overall pick. Sorry, Fernando Mendoza, you are a Raider. Crosby reacted by being placed on IR and then posting to his IG story a video of him playing basketball and jumping on a trampoline. A long way of saying... Just asking you guys, have you ever done anything to stick it to a job like Max Crosby may have done? I'll give you a quick one. I told my boss forever ago when I was still waiting tables and being a banquet hall server. I say, hey man, I can't make it in today. Sorry. He goes, oh, it's really unprofessional. This, that, and the other. You can't do this. You can't do that. I go, oh yeah, I can't do that. I can't make it in today. You know what? Actually, I just found some time. Let me go ahead and give him my my apron. I'm done. I'm out. So that was me sticking it right to him, telling him right then and there.
I'm trying to think of like.
Is there anything, any throwaway job you're just like, you know what? I kicked down the door. I'm done, man. This is over with.
Man, I can think of doing some like mischief while at work.
Okay, fair enough.
In the high school, I worked at like the bowling alley as like a porter, like cleaning tables and stuff like that. We would do some juvenile things, but I don't know if I was necessarily like sticking it to anybody. I like that though. That's a good question.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't think of anything like worth storytelling off the top of my head, rather than a typical like. All right,
I don't want to incriminate you either.
No. I'm not behind bars yet, so I mean, I think I'm good. No, nothing crazy.
Can we get one more quick one?
Sure, yeah. Let's do that. Let's go one more spin around. You know what? I don't even spin. I'll just go to this first one that I got here.
Okay.
I'm gonna go fill in the blank for the following potential head coaches.
Oh.
If you want, it'll be up to you. Whatever head coach you feel like is the most confident here. blank, being the head coach, will be a blank, whatever job, for this team in 2026. I personally feel Mike McDaniel will be an offensive coordinator for the Lions. Maybe something like that.
I'm thinking Washington because him and Dan Quinn are good buddies.
That's yeah.
Ooh, I think Kevin Stefanski is going to be the new head coach of the New York Giants.
Ooh, okay. I had Harbaugh there.
I think Harbaugh's going to Miami.
Okay, I don't hate that.
You took mine.
Don't hate that.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say Harbaugh to Miami.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of writing on the wall for that.
Yeah, I mean with the
unless the Bills job opens up, I think it's only
there's like 3 potential
you were
jobs
talking
that
about
can open up.
Belichick to the Bills, but that was
Matt LaFleur could open up. Sean McDermott, like you said, or in my mind, maybe Nick Sirianni. Do any one of those jump John Harbaugh as the number 1 candidate?
We'll see. That will depend, but yeah, mine would have been Harbaugh to Miami. I think just the timing of McDaniels getting fired and Harbaugh getting fired at this, I think there's a switch coming there at least.
I think Matt LaFleur would be the only argument you could have to somebody that
be the number 1.
Yeah, be the number 1 candidate. But just because he was part of that McVay tree and I guess the Shanahan tree if you think about it. But yeah, I think Matt LaFleur. If the Packers fire Matt LaFleur, we as Bears fans,
I would love
we
it.
need a party.
Can't wait.
Because that's the greatest. That'd be the best thing that the Packers could do to help the Bears.
And it
win
can
the
happen tonight, folks. It can happen tonight. Bears Packers kicking off at 7. Are we having this game here on WRMN?
I don't know, actually. So I would tune in just to be sure.
Exactly
One quick thing we forgot to mention, the cooler broke at the United Center, so we'll talk more about that next week. That was my Mamma Mia.
Yeah. WRMN 1410 on the rise.
Love you guys.
Go Bears.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.